Hello and welcome to Upload,
a podcast by those who upload for those who want to.
or who already do.
And anyone else for that matter.
My name is Lionheart and I've been creating content for over a decade.
And my name's Midgeman and I've been trying to create content for almost a decade.
Together with some of our friends and fellow content creators, we're going to be exploring the great big world of content creation.
We'll be looking into the serious topics that face content creators today.
Because if someone said that to me like in person, or said that kind of stuff to me, you know, IRL, I wouldn't take it. So why would I take it like online? Why would I hide aspects of sort of my identity?
As well as some less serious topics.
I've been blindsided by the fact that one of your old live streams is called Suck My Missile for like the last
Sorry,
10
what?
minutes.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Upload.
Hello and welcome to Upload, the podcast for those who make content, those who want to, and everyone else for that matter. My name is Midgeman.
And I'm Lionheart.
And before we get on with today's episode, remember to rate, like, subscribe, leave a comment on whatever platform you're listening to, and or you can get in touch with the podcast via our email, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. Also, if you go to uploadpodcast.co.uk, that's where you'll find all of our links now. And furthermore, we have a Discord. Come join, come say hi. We've also got like a little content creator specific set of rooms there where we answer your questions, help you with your setups, talk about the industry. So yeah, head on over to all of those. You can find them at our links. Uploadpodcast.co.uk. I did so well and flubbed it at the end.
You were so good. You had so much extra to add in. New script, new bits.
That was freeform as well. That was without a new written script.
Have you ever acted before, sir?
Well, some might say that I have. Someone I say it's actually been a little while since we made one of these as well. Because Lionheart, you've been away.
I have.
And since you've been away, so much has happened in the industry.
Everything's happened. Yeah.
So we're going to be so far behind as well when this comes out. Because we're going to be what, episode 26, 27, 25. Industry completely changed again as well, which is the kind of the beauty of this industry and this podcast. Yeah, and you're getting much closer to your setup coming through. There's been some tech developments. There's industry developments. This is going to be the next two episodes of this podcast are essentially going to be us, one, catching up ourselves, and two, going through everything that has changed. And before we get onto like the main key bits of it, because we're going to go kind of data heavy, I think, today, and a bit of a discussion. Our main kind of talking point today is going to be about the industry, the developments, and specifically around multi-streaming, as we've done bits about multi-streaming before, things that you can do to make it cheaper and effective on you. We've put our own points forward on multi-streaming, but people like Ludwig have also just come out and talked about multi-streaming. There's been a lot of data sets coming out about multi-streaming and streaming on various platforms that are worth going through. But before we go on, I just want to talk about some little extra things that I've bought in my office. I was just showing Lionheart, which is
What you spent some money on?
Yeah, I've got an extension.
We all was expecting to see your extension so early in the morning.
I finally replied to one of those emails, and I bought this little extender because one of the problems I was having was my mic arm, because it comes from the side now rather than from below my monitor, which is probably the best place to have a low profile boom arm. It didn't quite reach my camera alignment in my face, so I had to have the mic tilted. Now I can have this more dominantly in front of me, and I can actually raise it up more should I need to. Literally, it's a little pole extender. A pack of two on Amazon. I was like, I wonder if this exists, and by golly, it did, and it cost me £7.
Nice.
The other thing was Rode do their own version, so I will caveat that they have their own version, but also on Amazon I bought a dust cover that isn't by Rode to cover my mixer because I hate dust in this office. This office is, now that I've done it up, has become a battle between myself and the dust monster to try and keep this bloody place clean and tidy. I've also bought like I've done loads of things. So I've also got like a nice new big long form mouse mat, but on top of the Secret Labs Magnus desk mat. So now I've got like this all black leather, and then it's got brown cork. I've got like a brown cork on top of that, which kind of contrasts the room. I've got a rug that's going to be coming. I did basically payday this week. This
in your life
was like, I'm going to get. It was not even that. It was just like, I'm just going to get little things to make me happy.
Yeah, treat myself. Should they note to your like having the arm underneath the monitor? I know why you say it, but and I used to be an under the monitor, and like in terms of direct, easy, straightforward positioning for a low profile arm, yes, it is best, but you can't just think about your mic placement. You got to think about your camera placement. And if you have that low profile arm underneath the monitor, you most likely have to raise your monitor up, which means your camera can no longer be at eye line or just above, which is pretty much where we both have ours. Mine's just above where I'd like it a little bit lower, but I cannot bring my monitor any lower. So I've now got mine off to the side, similar to you, and then coming across and in. And I wish there was if I could have it any low, I need it super low profile is what I need. Like I need super low, but then it would come up and it would then, you've got to get the angles right because you're looking at it and your eyes have got to, if it's too close and in front, you're just going to block it.
To be fair, something that normally people probably could have done is just, because I've had to clip it onto the side, the arm to the side of my desk rather than going to the front and then turning the bracket, which is probably the easiest way of making that happen. However, on the Secret Labs Magnus Pro, on the right-hand side is where the desk controls are. And I have my mixer on the right-hand side. My PC's on the left, and it's like one of those things of, I would have to change the complete angle of my mic coming back over with the cable into the mixer, which the mixer cables then go all the way over. The real solution would be to move all of my sound to the left-hand side next to my PC, but my brain then went, no, that's next to all the electrical cables, which means I would probably get electrical feedback on my cables and my mic.
I have my PC on the right, but I have all my audio stuff on the left. So I have the boom arm comes out like that, like around the monitor. The monitor kind of sits in between, and then the base sits behind the monitor over the left side, comes out on the corner and then cuts in, which gives me perfect placement to have my Go XLR to hold it all in place because it sits pressed up against the monitor in perfect place. So I never have to, whenever I readjust the arm, I just pull it straight to the mixer, and then I know it's locked in to be pretty much in the spot on position. Because I used to use a Studio XLR headset with a studio quality broadcast mic, which sounded pretty good.
That's what I'm currently using, actually.
And the thing is, because it doesn't need to necessarily be as it doesn't need to be as sensitive as something like the Shure SM7B because it's close to your mouth, so it doesn't need to be as sensitive to all the sound because it's got a much closer proximity, which also helps with noise gating and things like that. It's good, but the reason why I shifted was because that was the headset I had to wear all the time, and it wasn't that it was uncomfortable, I just didn't want to really wear that headset all the time. But my train of thoughts, I've lost my train of thought on that.
But now that you're on like a gaming wireless headset, that's not as much of a thing. You don't have to worry about that much more. Is that where you were going with it?
No, the brain's completely died. Like, it's just gone. What was the point? I was talking about
that. What was the point, Lionheart?
What was the point?
Why are we here?
Oh my god, what's happened? Brain. Like literally, it was
you
in my head. It was going
off and you forget how to podcast.
I've done what that we were talking about the the angle of the thing. Oh, right, yeah, the positioning was what I was coming back to. When you had that, you never had to think about positioning, but flipping back and forth between headset mics and boom arms and stuff. It's why I moved away from boom arms, because I got fed up with doing this every single morning. Oh, is that the right position? Have I got it in? So now by having it pressed up against the Go XLR, I know that it's a very easy, it just comes up until I hear it go clink, and then it's not a perfect science, and it's still never there. But because also now, with mixer settings and things like that, you can roughly, I don't set it for this specific, I have it set for this specific area. So if the mic's roughly in that sweet spot, it's going to pick up pretty much the same. And the thing is as well, I think if you watch most streamers, probably 99% of them, we all fiddle with our microphones as we're streaming constantly. As we're podcasting, we'll tweak it, we'll touch it.
I am king of punching this microphone accidentally.
You get excited, you're just like, oh god, no, it's gone everywhere. Although, when I was on my honeymoon last year, my brother came and he was house sitting.
Right, yes, yeah.
He was house sitting. Yeah, you're sort of thinking, what tangent is he possibly going? I saw you, like, what the hell? How does he...
I heard punching and honeymoon.
I tuned in to a stream, late one night, while I was on my honeymoon, I was just like, I'll just check in because I know my brother's doing a stream. He was house sitting for us, looking after the cats, and he was like, I'll jump on and I'll stream from your channel for a little bit, keep it ticking over for you. And I was like, appreciate that, that's great. I tuned in, and what I saw horrified me because he was literally just moving the whole thing, redone. I was like, not the mic, it's in the perfect position. No, you do not know how long. And it was really funny because one of my sponsors, Games Planet, were watching, and every time I chat with them, they're always like, how's your mic? Is it okay? Is it still in the same position now? And I'm like, yes, it's recovered from the incident. It's like when you adjust the seat in a car that's not yours for your bit, and then you can sense the person whose car is sitting next to you or whatever going, no, just or if they don't have like a profile thing that they can just touch and it's electric and it'll just move it back, you're just like, oh, why?
Yeah, it's just like when you catch someone's habit that is completely fine to them, but not fine to you.
Don't adjust the position of the microphone unless you measure every single specific angle of where it is. I actually know someone that used to they had like a top-down light over their setup, and they were so intense about getting the positioning right. They had a light from the top, they would shine down. They traced out the shadow of the microphone on their desk.
Perfect.
And they would do a mic check every morning by like lights off in the room. They'd press a button, I think, on their stream deck to fire the light from above down. It'd be dark. They'd see the perfect shadow and they'd align it to the desk. And you know what?
That's ingenious. Yeah.
That is actually a really clever, genius way of just getting that perfect lineup.
So that's almost very theatrical, because lighting in theatre and making sure it's measured and marked is a very big thing.
He had done like set design and bits and pieces like that, and lighting and stuff.
Yeah, there we go. I was like gonna say, this sounds like a couple of friends of mine.
He's super into like his audio bits and pieces, so he was like, I need this in the most specific place, because otherwise, like, it's maybe it's not going to affect the sound recording. It's
going to affect his ability. Yeah.
I need it in that perfect spot. And you know what? I was like, to be fair, there isn't any product or way. That's probably the best way to do it.
If they've got a home streaming studio, it's probably fantastic. It's probably got some of the nicest gear, some of the most maintained efficiency.
I was just thinking, could you do like a laser level thing where you have a laser bit like sat on the desk, and you just have to line it up to the laser, and then it'll go from a red light to a green light when they've connected, and then you're in the right spot.
What about like a laser level boot on a boom arm as a product to tell you that you're in the right position?
You set it to a marker on the desk, and you go boop, and when it's over that, it'll go the beam will go red to green.
Yeah.
Right, quick, trademark it. Dragon's Den. We're going on Dragon's Den, everyone.
I mean, it's on a podcast. They can't deny, like, that the recording date of this podcast is the 5th of the 9th, 2024 at 9:57 a.m.
We want Peter Jones and Deborah Meaden. Let's get the dream team. Come on.
To be fair, if we told that to like Elgato or someone, I reckon someone would come out with it.
Do you ever think when you're thinking about streamer gear, do you ever think like, oh, that seems like a super niche thing, but then you think, but then there's like company, like streaming is still pretty niche, right? Like
I don't think that anymore, because the things that we were asked this question on the podcast, and then 2 weeks later, Logitech released an app. Yeah, like, no, I don't think that anymore.
Hey Logitech, hey Elgato, how you doing?
Can you imagine if they're just mining this podcast?
Please fight over making this product for us.
Honestly, we will take like even 1% of the residuals at this point, because that would sell, especially if it was clip-on, so people could buy it as an extra accessory.
Yeah, it can go on any mic. You just clip it on and it'll marker and like a little bing. Yeah, genius.
Damn. Anyway,
we are geniuses.
If anyone does make that and wants to loop us in, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Anyway, let's go on to the bigger topic of this episode, which is just talking about the tech and industry. So there's been a lot of data coming out. I'm going to be using the same data that, rounding this back, Ludwig uploaded a video recently called Why Everyone is Leaving YouTube. That's actually a changed title. He actually had it much more clickbait than that, which is I'm leaving YouTube streaming.
I mean, you want that's the grind, the hustle. You got to do it. It gets the views.
I was really slow to pick up on Ludwig's content, just generally, because back in my mind, he was like Minecraft. He was games that I didn't play when he was doing gaming and stuff. But Mogul Mail, I've actually started listening to. The man is super intelligent. He was one of the fastest growing streamers out there. He is a multi-millionaire, but he's also got one, good ethics, some people at the top end of the industry, and also he now is at a point where he's got so much money that he doesn't do things to make money anymore. He does a lot of things to be the change he wants to see, and accidentally gets scammed a lot. That's his other thing. But anyway, he did a little bit of a deep dive because a lot of people's a lot of people's YouTube streaming contracts are ending. Big names in what we would consider the English-speaking live streaming community. People like Tim the Tap Man. Tim the Tap Man, his YouTube contract ended this month. He had 14,000 YouTube members. His first stream back on Twitch, because he went straight back to Twitch, he multi-streamed. He had double the viewers on Twitch than he did on YouTube, even though YouTube had been straight streaming for 3 years. He didn't end the streaming, he just continued, but he moved to put on Twitch as well. Twitch had double the views, and in the first stream, I believe, don't have the data set on this because it was verbal, and I'm hearing it from Ludwig, who heard it from Tim. He gained 6,000 subscribers on Twitch, which is, I think, monetarily means that in a couple of streams, if it continues with the same trajectory, he will already outweigh YouTube, the platform, memberships, and already be making more on Twitch, especially as some of those subs are going to be, tier 3s, tier 2s, gifted. It's September right now. It's actually financially probably the best time for him to have started that multi-stream is September, because my God, the money is going to go in. And the reason I want to mention that September is a really good time, it kind of brings on to the main point and the main talking point of why monetarily for streamers, primary streamers who are mainly streamers, Twitch is still always going to be the best option if you're an English-speaking streamer, is the culture. Twitch's culture is better for the economy. Yes, you do not make nearly as much in ads, but the giving culture, the chat culture, it's always going to be better on Twitch. And you've said it yourself that you prefer Twitch streaming, and your Twitch audience is your streaming audience, and YouTube is your YouTube audience. And you found that when you've done multi-streaming. And actually, it's something Ludwig said in this is like, he hates multi-streaming. I don't hate multi-streaming, but also I see it in the same vein that Ludwig does. It's weird that I like it and he hates it, but we both have the same understanding of where multi-streaming is good. Multi-streaming is good when you're doing special events, and it doesn't matter about the actual. So things where I'm doing like Parabellum, why would we never multi-stream that? To restrict that to one platform is the stupid thing, because
silly, you want it going out everywhere.
But if you're on the daily, and this is something I think you notice purely because of brain and mechanics of being able to control so many things at once, you will always favor a channel.
You've got to make that decision because if you're going to commit to the multi-stream, do you go, right, if I want to give the same intensity and the same experience, do I just go, right, I'm going to multi-stream on Twitch and YouTube, but Twitch is where I've always focused, so I'm just going to focus on the Twitch channel, and the YouTube one's almost like, you know how some people do set up like a TikTok live stream, and it's like almost like a behind the scenes, they're not really engaging in it, but it's just running there, and that's a good way of just doing some background passive growth. Just leave it on in the background. You don't even necessarily need to interact with it, because people will be like, what is this guy doing? And then that's the curiosity in.
Yeah, absolutely.
To keep that same of intensity, I think you have to basically kind of say, like, I'm going to largely ignore that other one, because if you then need to split your attention onto another channel, okay, you can merge chats, you can keep an eye on everything, but you are still going to find, and this is what I found when I multi-streamed, was going this. I'm going constantly, and I'm still trying to play a game and commentate and record and think about how that's going to be in the edit. Okay, that's an extra phase for me specifically, but
yeah, no, it still tracks though. And the thing is, a lot of it also comes again back into the community and the logic of it. If you're reading out stream alerts, the majority of those are going to be from Twitch, whether that's follows, subs, or anything, mainly because things like YouTube, there isn't that membership growth. So even in just the processes of being a good streamer,
there's going to be a weird alienation constantly throughout the stream going, like, because one platform's going to be like, oh, this is not the relevant bit to me.
It was described as a dad with his own child and a stepchild.
No,
which is a really bad idea.
Awful.
You love them both, but one gets more attention. It's a really bad analogy, but like that people are using. But it's also like one of those things of, in terms of the stereotype, it matches.
Yes.
And it's one of those things of, there is going to be a favorite, like in terms of just the mechanics of how this works. But that being said, there's so many more points I want to get onto. I want to just point out some data sets. Well, I'm using Stream Hatchet here. It's the same thing that Ludwig pointed out, but it's a professional company who do market analytics. I can't get the report that Ludwig did because I'm on a free account, but I can get Q1's report, and we can actually use these to compare.
If anyone would like to give us £900 so that we can upgrade to a...
Or Stream Hatchet, if you just want to do me a solid, you know.
We'll do quarterly deep dives into your reports. Let's discuss.
For example, there's some new streaming platforms out there, but the biggest thing I want to point out, hopefully by the time this podcast go out, I can actually get both of these reports to the editors so they can just bring them up on stream. Okay, platform distribution. Hours watched across all streaming platforms for Q1 compared to of 2024 compared to Q1 of 2023. There was 5.7 billion hours watched on Twitch, which is up 3%, and 1.4 million. Notice the difference between billion and million there on YouTube, which is plus 19%. You compare that now to Q2, hours watched across all streaming platforms for Twitch went down to 5.1 billion, which is down 5%. YouTube is up to 2 billion, plus 50%. Now, the only thing that has changed there is the ease at which people can multi-stream. There's a really good assessment that's been made by Ludwig and other people, and there's a reason you need to be wary of these numbers as if you're an English-speaking streamer. A lot of the reasons here is because certain regions can't watch Twitch anymore. For example, South Korea, where Twitch has suspended services. Who's going to pick that up? Most likely YouTube. Foreign language streams have a market of doing currently better on YouTube than over on Twitch. There's more visibility on it. Now, it also has to be said that YouTube does have a bit of a problem as well with certain bots on streams and like scam streams where, you know, hacked accounts stream Tesla or anything like that with a QR code on screen. Never scan those. You will lose access to probably your bank account or all your crypto or whatever you've got. But like, so there is going to be some weird numberflation, but it's interesting to see just how much the advocation of ease of multi-stream with tools like, you know, Atom multi-stream, etc., how much that's actually going to swing the market share. And I don't hate that Twitch isn't going to be as dominant anymore. Like, sure, it's still got a 3 billion lead right now, but they need it to be able to innovate.
They're only going to have that by someone really hounding them. Even going through some of the comments of Ludwig's video, which you've got a lot of people, funnily enough, a lot of people on YouTube are very pro YouTube. So they're like, oh, we're sad to see our streamers go back to Twitch. The thing I agree with, though, that's kind of said in Ludwig himself says, and YouTube as an overall platform is the better platform. 100%. And I think YouTube will ultimately maintain that and become unequivocally the best platform. The thing is, in a way, maybe to get a bit political here, I kind of see Twitch almost the same way that like the UK is right now. Like we can't just, and like the NHS and the black hole and everything, we can't just funnel money into it. We have to sort out the core issues that are causing it. And the core issues are that they're not innovating in the right places. The major thing they need to focus on is discoverability and when you're not live. But they should have done this a decade ago. They should have done this a decade ago with having a far more robust VOD system. Okay, they don't ever need to become a full competitor to YouTube where they are all about delivering videos on demand, but they need to have a way that your channel is a live 24/7 even when you're not live. And they still fail completely to do that. Their latest update to the app is to essentially make it more like TikTok, where you can quite quickly scroll through lives and stuff like that.
I hate it. Oh, I really hate how it's...
No, I've not met anybody. The number of times it bugs out on me, though, and it removes the bottom bar, and I can't find my channel. I thought the update was way worse than it was initially. I was complaining about it on my stream because I was like, guys, I can't get to my how do I get to my channel? Because it wasn't showing the bottom UI. I closed the app, I reopened it 3 or 4 times. On like the 5th go,
it's been buggy as hell.
It finally reloaded and it was there. And I went to check it yesterday. Same thing happened. I was like, I can't, your user experience, like, because I want to navigate straight to my channel to check stuff. Like if I quickly go to grab a snack or something, I want to be able to just quickly check what chat's saying on my phone. And if I can't do that instantly...
We need a Twitch creator app like YouTube dashboard app. We need a Twitch creator app that just takes us to our back end. My God. I also just want to quickly correct myself. I think there's a typo in this platform distribution Q1 report. I think that's actually meant to be 1.4 billion, not 1.4 million.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was looking at it going like, no, because otherwise Kick's on like 300 million or so. And I was like, that's...
Yes, because all the ones after it are also in the millions in K. So that is actually a typo.
I was thinking, I was like, is he seeing something or not? Yeah, 1.4 billion.
That would be ridiculous.
The thing that Twitch still has, and it's something that I've noticed with like sponsorships and stuff, YouTube might be the better platform, but Twitch still has an insane amount of brand awareness and brand power and brand value. And that is most likely why people are thinking like, why do Amazon keep probably just firing money into it? Well, one, obviously they don't really want to switch everything off on it because they've got the market share still, and comfortably so. Like, yeah, other platforms are gaining ground, but Twitch, it still isn't in a position where it needs to panic, really. It needs to make some fairly substantial moves forward and developments, but it's still certainly not at panic stations time. You know, even though its financials are always in the red, it's still like, no, it's fine, we've got the market share. The brand power it has, and when I get a sponsorship, I've had sponsorships in the past where, so my previous sponsorship before NZXT was with Lenovo Legion, and I said multiple times, like, do you guys want some YouTube content? YouTube is a much larger channel for me than my Twitch. It gets in anywhere between like 1.5 to 2 million views every single month. Twitch, comparatively, I mean, I'd have to really quickly check my dashboard for what we've done in the last month, but let's just for a quick comparison. Oh god, where's like total? Where's total views? Do you have total views?
What, on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, Twitch.
Oh, Twitch. Hang on.
Or something comparable.
Hold on. Let me. Yeah, you do, but it's in a weird place. Hold on. Let me brain this out because I need to see it in front of me. It's analytics, the overview. Then you click the timeline. You change to the month.
Just change to a full month. So click to August. Times
average views, and then if you there is a way to check it because you get loads of graph
or engaged view. No, it must be unique. Max viewers. No. See, Twitch, this is something that should not be buried like this.
One of the ways I would actually tell you, go to a website called Sullynome. Sullynome's better for Twitch stats.
Sullynome Twitch. Here we go. Let's have a little looky.
And then you can search channel or game or category. Let's put in line. There is a way to do it on Twitch, but it's buried.
Yeah, it's not as straightforward. Yeah. So last 30 days.
Even though it doesn't give you a total combined viewership.
Yeah, I want total viewership for the month. I'm gonna go off of for Twitch. I'm gonna go off of unique viewers.
Mm-hmm. Or go hours watched. Go hours watched because you can compare that.
Hours what I can compare that, can't I?
On YouTube it would be called watch time hours, and then I'm on Sullynome. I've got your last 30 days of your hours watched is 16,828.
16,000 hours watch. Okay. So let's get the last 30 days up on YouTube. 503,000.
That's a magnitude. That's such a magnitude bigger.
I've said to sponsors, like, I don't like doing too many sponsored bits because I do long format and I don't like interjecting a random ad halfway through a series. And also that wouldn't work well for them. They wouldn't get a good payout from that. The best way to do it is say like, right, I'm starting a new series. Do you want to have a sponsored spot on part 1? That's going to be your best spot. I don't like doing it that often, or saying, do you want me to do a first look at a game? And I'll do it in that because that's got one-off bit of content. It's probably got a decent bit to track fairly well. Number of times, and like, I mean, with Legion, they were just like, no, we're just interested in Twitch. And basically it was because just the brand pull, the brand awareness, they wanted that live awareness. And even now when you've got multi-streaming, I've still got deals coming in and they just want Twitch because they know that brand pull and power. And that is, and I think that's where brands see a lot of value still with essentially product placement in a created bit of content, not as an ad over the top, but actually, logo constantly on stream. While ads are, terrible on Twitch, and that again needs a full overhaul. Like YouTube's got that beat because they've got decades of development and the ability to now place ads specifically where you want, activate them how you want. You don't penalize your viewers anywhere near as much on YouTube playing an ad versus the disruption that it costs you on Twitch running it. But that brand awareness is what Twitch still has, all that brand power, because when you say to people, do you stream? vast majority of people are probably like, what, 9 out of 10 at least, I couldn't say Twitch, right? I think also YouTube still has this kind of issue with calling it YouTube gaming as their live platform, like, because it's not, because they had that, and I mean it's still there, but I remember when there was that, when it first launched and it was this big push and you had a separate gaming profile, and nobody liked that, because you're like, why would we have separate profiles? That makes no sense. We one channel, one profile, that's it, don't direct us elsewhere. And they kind of got scrapped that quietly. But if it's still being referred to as YouTube gaming, that's like, at least Twitch off, you know, Twitch isn't just about gaming. Okay, vast majority of traffic is going to be for gaming, but the fact that it's not just restricted to that, and people also, when they mention Twitch, they think of it as hobbyist streams, just chatting streams, and, you know, hot tub streams, everything and anything vaguely around terms of service and all the grey areas around it. It can all happen, you know. Whereas YouTube, if you're saying like it's YouTube gaming, and as a new streamer, you'll be like, oh, I want to do my hobbyist stuff. You'll be like, I'm going to go on Twitch because I don't feel like I've got a category on YouTube. As just a streamer, coming back to like multi-streaming, yeah, multi-stream. Do it. Like, don't, because the biggest problem streamers have, right, is that discoverability. And we always say satellite yourself out. And now it's not just about satelliting, it's also about, you know, duplicating that main platform, like having those main show events on multiple different fronts, and you still have all your satellite stuff around it.
So just to go back to the analytics from this Stream Hatchet Q2 report, not the Q1 report, Q2, Q2 of 2021. I'm going to go for 2021, you know, COVID times, in 2020, 2021. 2021 was the highest viewed year for live streaming ever, because
everybody at home,
nobody had anything to do because of a global pandemic, you know, just general things.
It was my best ever time on Twitch.
Do you want to know what the next most watch hour streaming quarter, this quarter?
Q1. No,
Q2 2024.
Oh, I don't. Where's that on
had
the
8.5. This is on the Q2 report that I'm using Ludwig's video for. So Q2 2024 had 8.5 billion hours watched. Granted, the next biggest is, you know, 2021, which was 9.8. Before that was 2020, which was obviously as well.
That jump from 5.1.
So it's up 10% right now. Streaming's on the rise again. Streaming's back, so this is the best time to get into streaming if you want to be a streamer.
On that rise, the wave is rising back up again. And as we always say, it's never been easier to get into content. It's never been harder to succeed, but it's never been easier to start. Like, it's so easy. You have the power literally in the palm of your hand with your phone.
Multi-streaming is one of those things. It's a double caveat. My best piece of advice, and it's well, Ludwig also echoes this, so I'm just pointing out that this is something I also believe in. I'm sure Lionheart believes in, but a lot of people believe in now. The best way to treat multi-streaming is it is your test to find your groove. You need to find what platform suits you, what style suits you, and the best ways to do it, especially if you're small, especially if you've got nothing to lose and you don't have to worry about various platforms, is try multi-stream. Try it. Work out which streaming platform is the best for you to engagement-wise, in terms of growth-wise, in terms of your own fun. That's a huge part of it. But multi-streaming in the long form for a general content creator that already has an audience somewhere, it's probably best to just stick.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting because on my recent trip to Stockholm with a group of creators, and it was really interesting to see those that come from just like a streaming kind of focus versus those that come from just a video focus, or those that do a bit in between. Because there was a couple of creators, and they were saying, oh, do you not multi-stream? And I was like, I tried it, it just really didn't feel right, it didn't fit. And they were like, oh no, you've got to multi-stream. And it's really interesting to see some creators, both big and small, and I will disagree with them. Like, it's big. I'm not disagreeing with why they're saying it. They're saying it because it fits best for them. But right now, multi-streaming is not always the best option. You know, I'm gonna say like that's a fact. Like, it's actually not. It's not just my opinion of the experience, but like we've got the data now, right? Like, streamers are that change from multi-streaming to just focusing on one. If they've already got that presence and that platform and that works with their type of content, they do better just focusing on one platform rather than spreading out. Okay, maybe long term, the multi-stream grind might well be better, especially if you are primarily a Twitch streamer first and you then start streaming, multi-streaming and YouTube, because then finally you have a VOD site that will support you. And I think that's where some of the streamers were coming from. They were saying essentially multi-stream because you will earn more money from your VODs on YouTube, most likely, than you will ever do streaming. Unless you're pulling in big sponsors, that passive YouTube background income is going to work better for you.
And it was actually a multi-stream that led me to do a development in my own content creation right now. Or finally, it's one of those things I've been umming and ahhing about a long time. While you're away, Lionheart, I've decided that I'm not going to stream on Twitch as much as I do anymore.
Oh, I'm misrating you.
I know, bud. But at least for this month, and at least for the next month, I'm just going to focus not live streamed content. I'm going to focus on YouTube content right now.
Yeah. You know what? This is really funny because I had a very similar thought the other day.
Because I am on a massive uptick right now on YouTube.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Thank you. It's very nice to be able to actually pay my staff from YouTube slightly. To talk about my own analytics right now, to gear where another place to go with this episode is, in the last 28 days on YouTube, I am up 310% more views.
Damn, son.
Which is pretty ridiculous. August is now the second best month in my channel's history ever. Next to May of this year. This year has been excellent. I gained 1.3k subscribers. That's 293k views and about 36k watch time hours, which again, still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. But for me, that's excellent. And I'm still on a kind of upwards trajectory. It's basically, I'm getting about 13k views a day on average.
Because you do highly edited, crafted guides or spotlight stuff.
But you say that, one of the videos that's growing right now is something that I made in December of last year. And do you know what it is? It's Lord of the Rings Return to Moria.
Yes, it's finding, the algorithm is working.
That video is on a spike. It's because it came out on Steam. It came out on Steam.
Yeah, you know what? I was having a look through your channel and it came out on the For You was pushing it to me. I was like, oh, hello.
That video is currently like, the views went, so that video did nothing for about a week. Then hit a spike on, let me just, hang on.
Let's ogle some stats.
Screen share this one.
Oh, look at that little, oh, it's not even gentle. That's, poor.
Just, this is the data of that video. But look at here. This was its first like couple of days and then suddenly had a hit and then continued for a long time and then it went static for a little while.
And now pick up again. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting loads of new comments and that stuff. I've set new goals on my channel, just generally as well. I'm going to, when I do a guide, I want it to hit at least 30k views. And the reason I've picked that number, especially if it's on a game that I'm traditionally using, is because even a Fallout London video did really well. And I was like, okay. And then a Let's Play, I want it to hit like 10k views because I can never, here we have a Let's Play video. It didn't do anything compared to the guides around it. This one is a misnomer because there was a paid ad test on that. But like you compare guide, playthrough, guide, extended cut. We'll talk about that in a bit. But playthrough. And this was posted yesterday and it's already at 14k views. My new goal is to make sure they get 10k within 3 days if I want my channel to continue to grow. I would be an idiot right now to focus streaming.
Yeah, you need to spend more time developing those videos. Yeah.
And I put it on Discord. I did a breakdown of cost hours. On Twitch, I was earning 80 pence per hour I streamed. On YouTube, I was getting about £8.50. I mean, it's very, very below minimum wage still. It's not going to keep me over. But you compare those hours in worth, was ridiculous. So, for example, this, everything you need to know about guide, Dragon's Guide. We've talked about it a lot. I love this guide. I put a lot of effort into it. It was about 40 hours of work from writing, going back, redrafting, editing, everything. Analytically, it has earned 380 quid. You know, that's pretty decent for...
That's really good.
That much work. It's still not perfect in terms of the hours spent. But if I'd spent the same hours, if I'd spent 49.8 hours on Twitch, I would have earned £33. That's how vast and different that is. And that's when I just went, I love streaming. But I've worked out as well that my brain goes, you like streaming because one, it's fun, and two, it feels like work, so you can shirk off other things. And my brain went, Maybe I do. I just said, my Twitch is so small, well, it's small enough that only going down to 1 day a week on Twitch, I'm not cutting it completely, but going down to 1 day a week for a little while, at the end of the day, I could probably make the money back the next time if I just decide to turn around and start streaming with a regular pattern. But it would be stupid for me to not focus on YouTube right now. And the thing that made me realize this was a multi-stream. I, spur of the moment, multi-streamed a game of CK3, a Game of Thrones, before the release. There was like a content creator multiplayer, and I did like an overview casting of it and answered loads of questions. I streamed it on Twitch, I streamed it on YouTube. And for once, the YouTube stream had about 80 viewers live, and the Twitch stream had about the same, slightly more on Twitch. But the fact that the YouTube video was there afterwards, that video is now on like 20k views. Well, it's 18.8k views. The Twitch stream, however, has 4k views. And you start to realize, oh yeah, YouTube is the better platform for when you're not live, which is what everyone is getting at with multi-streaming. But for me, that went, oh, as a creator, I'm probably better off focusing YouTube for a little while, aren't I? Especially as I'm someone who doesn't have Twitch sponsors tying me to the platform. I don't have an income tying me to the platform. I think my effort is worth it elsewhere, but multi-streaming allowed me to realize that. And multi-streaming might be the thing that allows you to realize where you need to be. Because at the end of the day, you need to, one, love it, and you've got to recognize where the patterns of growth are. If you can notice where the growth patterns are, that might be the thing. Also, I've set myself a very lofty goal, Lionheart. Next year is a decade of my YouTube channel.
Beautiful.
Literally, it is a year and 3 days away as of time of recording. September 8th is my channel's birthday.
We're going mad, lads. Let's do it.
I want my silver play button by then. That's the goal I'm setting.
Let's do it. Yep.
I'm gonna try and get 100k views. And the nice thing is, I'm gonna have a silver play button before then, but not of my channel, because apparently I get to keep one of Hearts of Irons because I got a client's channel to that. So I'm gonna have a Paradox Interactive Hearts of Iron 4 YouTube channel.
Beautiful. Congrats. Nice.
Silver play button that's gonna go somewhere on this wall. But that'll be nice, and I'll make sure I show it off on the podcast when I get it.
The fact with multi-streaming is that it's not always the best option. That's the pure fact. But I think everyone should be encouraged to try it at least once or twice to see how it goes. And I mean, my experience with multi-streaming has been based off of one time doing it, and it just felt so uncomfortable for me that it has completely put me off it right now. But I know that I want to try it again with some different, kind of different approaches to it, because I assumed that I could just flip it on and it would feel fine. It might be a bit awkward, but it'd be fine.
Do you know what I would also hazard for people who maybe have a decent YouTube audience, but also have a decent Twitch audience, and they want to focus the engagement in one place? And same with what people do with TikTok and things. Multi-stream, but have chat off on those platforms and a little label that just says, go to Twitch for the interactive chat. And then you've still got that VOD, you've still got the quality.
Well, and also you're then directing people to, if they're going to spend money, to do it on the platform that benefits you slightly better at the moment, which is weird to say that about Twitch. But that's only because, and that's the only, I say it's the only, there's still a few weaknesses with YouTube and its general live system and everything. But the biggest thing, as we say, is the culture on Twitch. It's always been, and it's why before multi-streaming, while you still had the vast majority of people using Twitch, despite it not having good discoverability, despite all the other issues with it, is that the culture of people subbing to you, of financially supporting you while you're live, and just the general community culture on Twitch is so much further along than it is on YouTube. Right? It's getting there. Channel memberships are actually quite a big step towards that, but it's almost like channel memberships right now are essentially YouTube's Patreon. That's what it is. It's not YouTube's replacement for Twitch subs. I think as well, the whole system of the fact that you subscribe to a YouTube channel and you follow on a Twitch channel, you sub on a Twitch channel, but you become a member, like those terms, that's actually a really big problem of just getting people's headspace around it, because it's so easy to confuse and conflate what you actually mean when you're saying, can you, if you are asking your viewers to support you in a certain way, most streamers aren't going to be like they're demanding that you subscribe, aka subscribe to them. they're going to say, please follow me. And on YouTube, people are going to be like, well, what do you mean? You want me to subscribe to your channel? And then you might be thinking, no, don't sub. Oh, wait, no, that's, especially if you're multi-streaming across the two, there needs to be there are terms, obviously, you can use of like support the channel, become a sub, become a member, blah, 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 blah. It's about, becoming a subscriber, not subscribing to a channel. Become a subscriber, become a channel member. But that language also, I think, impacts a lot of it, and it also shapes the culture around it. But YouTube is still a good few years away from even kind of cracking that level. And I mean, some people might come into this thinking like, what do you mean? You're talking about that expectation? Are you really expecting people to come in? No, we're not expecting anyone to financially support a stream, but we're just saying that is a huge part of Twitch culture, and that's always been part of it. Of that, if you're enjoying the content, you sub to the streamer to show your support if you can financially.
And it's a narrative that even the platform pushes. September, gifted subs. I know gifted memberships is a thing.
September, like right now, is a huge drive to not only encourage, because Twitch pushing the platform isn't about Twitch gaining more money through subs. It's about drawing advertisers' eyes from around the world into this big investment, this big influx of viewers, which they can then monetize, which Twitch can get a better deal of. Yes, okay, Twitch is still going to get a little bump in revenue because more people subscribing, they take their cut. But that's not primarily their goal. It's about getting more eyes on platform and getting more buzz. If they can say to investors and to advertisers, probably more so to investors, look, we had all this extra spend coming in because we ran this 30% off event that actually, only cost us like 5% or what, whatever, the margins are and stuff like that. That to them is gold. That's what they're aiming to do, because they can then take those analytics, that data, to investors, to advertise and say, hey, do you want to be the frontline sponsor now for our next TwitchCon? Do you want to, this year, September is powered by Valorant, right? So that's the deal they've got there, because they know that power. And they're like, so Valorant, do you want to have a banner on every single channel, site-wide, regardless of what game they're playing, banners all over the site, on the app, pushing and promoting a special deal? Because when people start seeing that for just a little bit, it's not going to take much to then connect you into the game, and it has a cascading effect.
Sorry, my marketing brain just opened up, and it's like, that's actually a really bad timing for Riot Game, sadly, with Valorant. I'm a big esports watcher of Valorant. I really like watching it. They've just finished their final major competition of the year, and right now is the lower competitions where they're trying to get if teams are gonna move up to the pro scene. It's like Division 2 and Division 3 games are being played right now, which normally have lower quality streams and lower quality casters, not for the fact of they're bad, in the fact of just they don't spend as much money on it. It's not the giant arena things. They've just finished that, and it's like the player new signing season. So to have a big banner of advertisement right now, right after all their broadcasts have just finished, is pretty, for me, my brain goes, why Riot Games are you spending it on Valorant and not League of Legends when the League of Legends Worlds are in October?
I think it's probably essentially they're trying to mitigate the natural dip they know they get in between seasons, and they're like, we'll just keep efforts high by being the front runner in the whole of September. We've got that, and then we just lead naturally into our next season starting in October.
If you work for Valorant, Riot Games, and want to come on and talk about that'd be so cool.
Come have a chat with us.
Maybe we should just start talking to people on LinkedIn and being like,
yeah, hey, how you doing? We can't pay you, but we would like to talk to you.
There's a lot of topics I feel like we're going to talk on, and we've got a lot more things to cover today, so I think we need to end this episode now so that we can start a fresh topic base.
Do you reckon we could bullet point a few little sneak peeks of what we're going to continue talking about? What we're going to do next?
So we're going to be talking about some tech stuff. I hinted at the beginning of the podcast with my things, but there's been some tech updates in the world. There's been some tech developments in the world, but also there's been some gaming issues in the world and various games. Like certain game that sounds like a certain aircraft that also was axed recently, for example, and the impacts of that on games. And we're going to talk a bit about gaming and tech next.
It's not gone supersonic.
No, it really has not. Also, we've got to talk about your recent trip a little bit, probably, as much as you can talk about that.
Yes. Also, I was going to say, you can probably tell we're by the time you guys watch, if you're watching the video version, you'll also be able to tell what season we've now entered, because the jumpers are out again. We're in jumpers because it's genuinely cold today. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in jumpers. Yeah, it's now 18 degrees instead of 20. It's raining outside. It's great. I love it. I've been dying in this office.
Yeah, I can wear my jumpers again. I am in my best form when I'm in a jumper.
Same. I like 80% of my wardrobe is autumn based. I struggle in summer.
Jumper and jeans make me generally happy.
I'm jumper and cargo trousers today, which is, yeah. Anyway, let's round out multi-streaming. Try it if you haven't before, because it might be the thing for you, but don't settle that it is going to definitely be the thing that helps.
And don't feel pressured if you're hearing other creators saying you have to do that. Like, it wasn't other creators at the event saying like, it just felt like that. It felt like they were essentially saying like, if you're not multi-streaming, like, whoa, you're missing a huge. It's like, you might well be, but also you might well not. There is still huge amounts of value just focusing on a platform that is working for you. But the caveat I will say is, if you are a Twitch streamer and you go, you know what, I tried multi-streaming, it didn't really work, you should still be uploading to YouTube. Like, please, that's I think is probably more where that element of what the other streamers were or the other creators were talking about. Because it's not, that's the thing with multi-streaming, it's not just about being live on two platforms. It's about having that VOD backup, or just having discoverability when you're not live, and YouTube is the only platform that will do that for you well. You can just use it as a VOD dumping ground. Some streamers do that, but also hopefully maybe it will perhaps inspire you to maybe cut back a day or two on your streams to focus on some dedicated video content to start growing. Because, okay, it could take, well, it'll definitely take days, it'll definitely take weeks, it could take months, it could take years, it could take decades to see decent income, but you're far more likely to see that income over on YouTube from the VODs than you will do on Twitch, unless you get lucky with sponsors, because that's realistic. No one has ever gone, oh, you know what, I just got a really good ad deal on Twitch. No, you're going to say, I got an amazing sponsorship deal. And that is where we say, that's why brands are still, and there's still a lot of brand power in Twitch, and why it still dominates is because it is still seen by advertisers, by brands, and, investors that want to put money into creators on the platform. It is still seen as a powerhouse platform in that regard. May not do for too much longer. We'll see what happens in this space. But right now, yeah, it still has a huge amount of sway. Find what works and what fits for you. There is still no 100% guide to creating content online that will fit every situation. So find what works for you, and don't be afraid to be like, well, I'm doing completely opposite of what this creator says is working really well for them, because this works really well for me.
And without further ado, we'll catch you next time we upload.